Yes, hello. I am James Rowlands, and today it's the WNR411 Aew Revolution. And after 3 hours of pre-show, Team WNR are here for a full pay-per-view review. I have the pleasure to be joined by, firstly, someone who promised they would win this pay-per-view. It is Jaxie. How you doing? Are you still feeling confident at this time?
I wish you could see me. I'm scratching my head right now. Did I say that? Sure. I'd like to say I'm about 70% thinking that I've got this in the bag, but I'm not too sure. I can't remember what everyone else's answers were. We'll have to see. But I'm excited for it, so let's go.
Well, I should tell you, Jaxie, and nobody else will be interested in this, is that between the five of us, there is only 1 point in it. Between the winner and obviously the losers, as it is.
Oh, man. I already know.
This is to get interesting.
I know where my point went, too.
Up next, a man who's been untouchable predictions. How will he fare with AEW? It is Moxey, and are you confident?
Oh man, spoiler alert! No, I'm not. I already know. There's a couple things just did not go my way, and a couple missteps that oh man. When we get there, you will know, because it really hurt my feelings, because I thought of it and I just said the other thing. You know how you lean in one way and you just show, all right, screw it, I'm going with this. And then you should have went the opposite way. And yeah, but anyway, either way it goes, this was fun, but no, I'm not confident at all, James.
Well, no, it's great to have you on board. And last but by no means least, to quote Oscar Levant, there is a fine line between genius and insanity. It's genius, Gina. How are you?
Hello, guys. Yes, I definitely do border sometimes on the brink of insanity, but I work it. I make it work. So let's go.
And how was the experience meeting the Ultimate One for the very first time on the pre-show we did?
That was so funny. I really had so much fun just hearing the differences between you guys as well, and just your opinions on it. So I think we had fun.
Well, like I say, anybody can say what they want. And it's up to the other person if they want to defend it or not. But like I said, it's a pleasure.
Very opinionated.
It's a pleasure to have you guys with us. Unfortunately, Ultimate One can't make it. But we go to the buy-in. And I thought watching the countdown to Revolution, I'd get away with half hour of the buy-in. Unfortunately, it was an hour long. And it started with Chris Stotlander versus Leyla Hirsch. We get straight into the match. Hirsch began to focus on Stotlander's elbow to soften her up and spent a long time attacking the arm before her rival was able to mount some offense of her own. Stotlander planted her with a Blue Thunder bomb for a close 2 count. Hirsch took her off the apron with a Hurricane Runner that did some damage to both women. Hirsch then used a turnbuckle she found under the ring as a weapon for hitting a moonsault for the win. And we'll start off with Gina. What were your thoughts on this match?
I thought it was a good match. I think it was okay. I was happy that another female match was added to sort of the Revolution card, whether it was the buy-in or not. With how long the show was, I also felt like we could possibly have done without this match. It's not to say I didn't enjoy the match, but I do feel like the show was so long, we probably could have done without maybe that match. I know it was the buy-in and they had a whole hour for the buy-in, but maybe put one of the other matches on the buy-in then. Make it a bit shorter. Either way, though, I still enjoyed the match. I thought both Leyla and Chris have great chemistry with each other, and they were helping each other to kind of rile the fans up, get them ready for the whole of the pay-per-view event. So I still enjoyed watching it for sure.
Yeah, without doubt. I mean, the crowd was still filing in at that point, weren't there? And then obviously a couple of missteps. But again, these two women, a bit like Sheeda and Deeb, it looks like Chris and Leyla really don't like each other. And when you can get that across in the ring, I think it does sell the rivalry. But please, Chris, hook the fucking leg, all right? Because otherwise you're going to end up costing us prediction points, and we're not going to be happy about it. Which, I'm going to ask you, Monty, this. Will Leyla Hirsch's height hurt her?
I don't think it should, just because, she's short, but I don't think it's like that bad. Like, because maybe against like Jade, it'll look bad. It look bad like in that situation, or Nyla. But most of the competition, she's not that much smaller than, and even though we all know that like she has that sturdy base that makes her the explosive wrestler that she is. So like I think her work in the ring can help out too. But yeah, maybe in certain cases it can hurt her because like some people it may not be believable to some people that she could beat a Jade. But at the same time, you can make a good underdog story with that maybe in the future because of her height. So I don't know. I don't think it's gonna hurt her that bad. But I like Leyla. I think she's really aggressive in the ring, and I do like this, this heelish side to him. This, like you said, it had this sloppy moment, but I don't think nothing ruined the match, per se or anything like that. And the finish was even though I predicted the other way, I wasn't even that surprised with the finish, even though it was like kind of cheap. But yeah, I thought this was still fine. So yeah, no problem.
Without doubt. Jaxie, what would you score that out of 5 to start us off?
I mean, yeah, I liked this match. I think that I agree with Gina. I feel like this could have been a match that was kind of advertised or showcased on a Dynamite or a Rampage. But I think between the two women, it was still a really good match. And they still told a story. So I'm going to give it a 4. It was good.
Gina, what are you going to score it?
I'll go with a 4 as well. But like you said, James, I do feel like it's going to be a slight, Shida Deeb rivalry that I think will continue, and I'm happy for it to continue. But I'll give it a 4.
Doubt. Monty?
Y'all making me sound harsh, but I gave you like 3 1/4. Like it was cool.
Thank God. I thought I would.
Oh no, you're being really nice, and then you guys are gonna like harsh it.
It made me feel harsh.
No, it's like multiverse. If you wanna hear the scores the other way around, then listen to me and Jaxie doing a WWE show because.
Hey, if you include Ultimate One in that, then I don't look as bad, okay?
I'm just a mark. All right?
I mean, I think you both compliment how bad each other are. So
the thing is, it's on the buy-in, but like I just thought this wasn't much that you wouldn't see on like a Rampage or like a Dynamite, and that's the only reason why I was like, it was competitive, but
like you said,
it was just solid.
It was on the buy-in. It was on YouTube, but I felt like it was still quite a decent match to be on the buy-in. So I think both women just kind of they did their job well. Like they were showcasing the rivalry, like you said, and kind of it progressing. The match itself wasn't bad. It's just not on that high caliber of the expected matches that we were more excited to see that night.
Yeah, well, I'm going to give it 3 1/4 as well, so I'm glad that Monty's there. Poll-wise, Hirsch got 64% of the polls. And on to predictions. So we start our AEW Prediction Leagues. We should say the Prediction Leagues consist of 3 leagues. One of W Pay-Per-View, bonus points, and of course AEW, which start today. The bonus league, well, Monty, Gina, and Jaxie are all on 5 points at this moment in time, and I am in the lead with 6. Unfortunately, that is not the case for the W Pay-Per-View League, where I have not picked up a victory this year. I will say that I have never lost a WrestleMania in 7 years of doing predictions for it. So again, I'm hoping, like Jaxie last time, I'm hoping that I can catch that in. Gina, Jaxie on 2, and Monty, Incredibles 3 for 3 with WWE shows at this moment. But Ultimate One did predictions for this as well. So we're going to tell him right now. Unfortunately, Monty, you and I went for Chris Stotlander. So it's
of course.
Yes, it's 1 point. We are kicking ourselves.
That damn promo.
I swear this is the only one that I'm going to get a point over you guys.
Honestly,
but I'll happily take it.
This is, I don't want to spoil anything, but this is so exciting. And the people are going to think we fixed this, but we really haven't. So it's 1 point for Ultimate One, Gina and Jaxie. And then all of a sudden, Kenny Omega's music hit. Now, did anybody here think Kenny Omega was going to come out at any point?
Okay, yeah, I lost my shit. I'm not even lying. I heard that music and I was stood up on my feet, shouting at my partner, babe, Kenny's back. like that just to get.
Then I was in Jaxie's ear. I was in Jaxie's ear, and I was like, no, but why would they bring him back on a buy-in? If he's going to be brought back, he's going to be brought back on a main show, not a buy-in. I knew that Don prick was going to come out.
Indeed, it wasn't Kenny Omega, it was Don Callis who came out and trolled the crowd by saying basically they've taken Kenny Omega away from themselves. He was disgusted by the card, but said it will be a great night for the Elite as the Young Bucks will win the tag titles, and Adam Cole has created the sleeper cell within the Elite, and he will become the new AEW World Champion. Up until the second Kenny Omega returns, there's only one diamond in this business, and it's Kenny by God Omega. I mean, this was okay. It's like they're hitting us over the head by saying Kenny Omega's going to come back soon, but I don't mind it.
Yeah.
You know, I've got no problem with
them
laying
this. I kind of like missing him, and even that little tease at hearing his music, and like, you know, look at the reaction it got from me. You know, so you just know that when he does come back, the type of impact he's going to have on people just returning is going to be great. So yeah, they did well with just kind of teasing us with that.
I think we're that. Well, up next, they sent for Hook, and we got it versus QT Marshall. And QT has the microphone and notes. Now, if you want something done, you have to do it yourself. And he's going to show Hook what being cold-hearted is all about. Good luck to you. That's all I can say.
Right.
Marshall did try to corner him, but Hook saw it coming. He kicked him in the gut, but Hook answered right back with a suplex and a clothesline that sent QT over the top rope. Marshall then pie-faced Hook and sucked him into the rope so he could pull him in there. Hook caught him on the floor to capture suplex. Then QT pulled him in the middle turnbuckle, stomped him in the bit. Marshall had control for a few moments, but the Son of Taz countered a cutter and locked in the red rum for the win. What do you think of this, Jaxie?
So I've got to admit, I am really enjoying how they're promoting Hook and everything that he's doing. He's such a technical wrestler. I tend to find myself, especially in his matches, watching his moves a lot more, and I can actually see, you know, sort of the training that he's done. Like it's really paying off for him. I just get quite excited every time he's in the ring. This guy is going to be big one day. He really is going to be huge. He's got the sort of the right aspect to be a great technical wrestler. This was one of those matches that really showcased that. QT Marshall, you know, regardless as to what we want to say about him as a fan, QT Marshall is great in terms of his in-ring experience. You can see kind of the support he gives the partners that he's partnered in the ring with, but you can also see, you know, kind of how he helps sell these moves. I just thought it was just a great match. It was, you know, something everyone wanted to see. You know, QT Marshall kind of just get his ass kicked by a young kid. And it was the perfect story to tell. It was great.
Well, without doubt, and I think you hit the nail on the head as well, because even with QT, he is over as a heel. You know, that character, to the crowd to say QT sucks as opposed to just chant for Hook or having no reaction, it means that for what he does, I mean, the fucker put Paul White over on pay-per-view, and he's the one still having pay-per-view matches because there is a place for him. And we talk about pops for Hook. I mean, the pop for Hook was mental, and it feels like they got something really special. It'd be really interesting to see what the kind of future holds. And again, it's them doing it right because we're not sure what direction, but we invested right from the beginning, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm very happy to chuck my money at AEW and say, keep investing in him, keep building him. He will be one of the faces and one of the pillars of AEW in the future.
Yeah, I think without a doubt, you know. Out of 5 then, so Gina, what would you score out of 5?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 5. I think QT actually, with all the matches that we've seen from Hook so far, has been easy squash matches. QT actually, you know, showed us seeing Hook in a vulnerable position for once. And it was just really nice to have a bit more of a variety. I mean, we all love the little squash matches like Wardlow does and things like that. But if with Hook, because we haven't seen him actually struggle with anyone just yet, it was really nice to get that variety and see that. And to be honest, the crowd got me excited for AEW Revolution just watching this match. So that's why I'm giving it such a high score, because I think the vibe of the crowd was great. I think the match itself was great, and it was really fun to watch. So yeah, I'll give it that.
Yeah,
and don't judge me, Monty. I can hear your snickering back there. Don't you dare judge me.
All right.
Fly to America.
Monty, what would you say?
I gave it 3.5 stars. You know, like I said, it was good. You know, Hook is over. That, you know, he don't have to do much. You know, and the crowd gonna lose it. They already lose, like you said, as soon as they hear his music, you know, start up. Not even the beat come in, just the intro of it. They already know. Okay.
But I mean, that is a happy song.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Is so good.
Exactly, and like he doesn't have to do anything. Doesn't have to.
Sorry,
make faces. Don't have to smile.
Sorry, Monty, we'll come back. But that song's got a great hook to it.
Yeah, which part? Are you going to sing it for us? Are you going to sing the
see
part?
what you did there.
See what I did?
Drum roll.
That was awesome. He was going to bring a song for us.
Sorry, Monty, continue.
Does that count as a dad joke? Does that count as a dad joke or not? I don't know. It's actually pretty kind of clever. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Sorry.
But yeah, like I said, he doesn't have to do anything, and but he does make it a point to show you that foundation that you mentioned earlier, Jackie. You know what I mean? Like the fact that he has that training and the technique to do anything in the ring. So, like, I do like that. And then a lot of people was complaining that QT maybe got too much offense in, but that ain't bad. That's not a bad thing. It is the guy who trained him, especially in this storyline. So, like, I mean, it makes sense if you ask me, and it didn't overstay his welcome. So, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I'm about to say, it's exactly that, is that QT is a veteran and Hook is beginning. So, of course, he's going to be caught out with mistakes like being caught on a rope or stuff like this because he is a learner, and it's just like we say, the progression. He won't be doing this for long. Jackson, what are you going to score it?
I'm going to give it a 4 because I thought it was a great match again.
I think that, like I said, and we all went Hook. I should say, actually, before we get on predictions, poll-wise, and I've been doing this for a long time, for the first time ever, 100% went Hook. We had 100%.
Wow.
Good job.
Wow, well done, everyone.
Yeah, I don't know what that tells you about QT or what, but maybe it's just Hook.
Maybe it's all about Hook.
Then about QT.
Well, predictions, we all went Hook. That's the first points for Monty and myself. Of course, we're playing catch up on 1. Of course, Ultimate 1, Jackson on 2, and then we move to the last match on the buy-in. I can sense Monty's disappointment, but it's the House of Black versus Pac, Penta, and Eric Redbeard. And I've got to say, what a fucking entrance for House of Black, you know? Like, I didn't think... It's weird. It's like you see Black coming out, you go, that can't get any better than that. And then he comes out with Brody, you go, fuck, that's awesome. And then, of course, Matthews, you go, what's going on? How's it so? It's just, I can't. Again, I'm marking out for it, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And speaking of which...
They have an awesome presence, man. Just an awesome presence. Like, I love it already. They haven't even done anything, and they already just look badass.
It's that sound. It's that sound in the arena. Speaking of which, Alex is loving life at this moment.
You are so right there. It really is.
I don't know if he was getting ready for Halloween or whatever it was, you know, but... Speaking of the match, of course, this is Matthews' first match in AEW, and he looked incredible, you know, really, really did. But anyway, we started off with Black leveling Pac with a running kick as soon as the bell rung, but he got right back to his feet and hit a kick of his own to bring them to a stalemate. Penta and Matthews came in to take over. Penta took him down with a hurricanrana, but Matthews cut him off, hitting a suicide dive and rolling him up for a 1. They had a few exchange of takedowns before both men decided to tag out to the powerhouses of their team. And we see the two several times. And the House of Black went off Death Triangle on the apron while Redbeard sent King out of the ring with a surprising dropkick. He took out Matthews and Black before running over King at ringside. But the House of Black eventually cornered Penta to keep him isolated, but he was able to escape and tag Pac to unleash a tornado kicks to Matthews. Penta took out Matthews and Black with big crossbody. He started taking on everyone in the House of Black. They went for a few more minutes for the match ended with all 3 members of the House of Black taking out Redbeard for the win. What were your thoughts on that, Monty?
Yeah, man, this was awesome. I really like this. This is the definition of how to get the crowd ready for a show. If you want to consider this like a pre-show type of match, because this match, the quality of it belonged on the main card. Like it was, I think the future is bright for House of Black. I don't really think we need even like obviously they're going to be really really good and strong. Hopefully, if everything is booked right going forward, but I think they'll be fine. And the build to get there to this match wasn't necessarily perfect, but the match, oh man, way better than I thought it had any right to be. Especially if you think about the placement on the card, and just like I said, just a hell of a way to kind of just have you ready for what was to come. I was really positive on this match, and also I was really surprised. Like they made Redbeard look like a monster here in this match. So at times, so I was like, man, okay, nice going. Even though they did call him Eric Rowan at one point, it was nice. It's a habit. I almost just did it, so it's a habit.
Right,
but anyway, this was good. I gave it 4.5.
Well, it's good to see Redbeard, and can we please get a 20-minute match between Black and Pac? I mean, just
yes.
that.
Yeah, give it to us again, please, because those two
just
you
keep
can continue
it back,
to matches between these two, and I will never get bored.
Well, it was pay-per-view worthy, like you said, Monty. Really, really good stuff. I'm going to give this a 4.25. Jaxie, what are you saying?
Yeah, again, I really enjoyed this match. Agree with everything that Monty and yourself said. I got really excited at watching the exchanges between Brody King and Eric Redbeard, how neither of them wanted to back down. It's like, this is how you book beasts, not like, just one or two sort of standoffish parts. These two were really trying to put the other one down, and it was so good to see. A big adrenaline rush watching that whole match. So I'm going to give it a 4.25 as well.
Yeah, and
Actually,
Gina?
do you know what? A half, because of it was that good.
Switch to a half, that's no problems.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are all being quite stingy. I'm just going to give this one a straight up 5. It was so lit from beginning to end. I would even happily see a one-on-one feud match between Buddy Matthews and Penta, because they had some good spots as well throughout that whole match. It was from beginning to end. It was great. All of them worked well with each other, not just, individually. So even though Pac and Malachi Black have such great chemistry together, I was also enjoying seeing Pac fighting the other two as well, and it was the same for all of them. I was happy watching all of them. So I'm going to give it a straight up 5. Everyone's going to love me and hate you guys.
I want to quickly re-add in as well. We already knew that Buddy Murphy from WWE had a good body, but seriously, he looked like the best shape ever when he arrived.
He came in jacked up.
He's jacked and ripped, shall we say.
Yeah.
He's got muscles in places I haven't got places. Like, that's how great he looks.
Yeah,
and he's fast as hell, though. Like, he moves like, how can you be that muscular but also that agile? Like, it's
just think about
it's crazy.
Think about the talent. I don't like saying WWE dropped the ball, but look at the talent that WWE had.
No, they
Black
dropped the ball.
Pac and Matt, it's like,
if
fuck
you
me.
want to talk about WWE, dropping the ball, let's get into Revolution, because I'll tell you straight about them dropping the ball.
Great segue.
That is nice.
Awesome.
What we do poll-wise, House of Black got 82% predictions. We all went Hob. I hope that catches on Hob, because it's easier to say. Monty James on 2, Jaxie G and the Ultimate One on 3. And like you said, we're going to get into it now. Main show time. It is March 6th. And the highly anticipated grub match between Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston opened the main card of Revolution just after JR introduced the pay-per-view and asked Tony, where the hell are we?
Where are we? I loved it.
I know we've got...
That was absolutely...
Well, I'd say we've had... stop the damn match, but that might be one of my favourite JR calls of all time. Tony, where the hell are we?
Where the hell are we?
Oh, well. And I'm glad we have annoying DraftKings adverts to fast forward, just like we do on WWE now. And I'm sure, am I going crazy? Were the big logos on the canvas during the buy-in?
Yeah, they were.
Oh, right. Because I didn't think they were. And I was like, what? Why did I only take... Why did it take me 4 matches? I'm not going to answer that.
Yeah, no, they definitely were on there. I thought it was a little bit distracting, but I kind of forgot about it after like the 5th match.
Maybe I saw it in the 1st, forgot it, and then saw it again on the 4th. And just, Anyway, on to the match, and this was a strong back and forth contest, of course. A nice suplex by Jericho to Eddie off the apron. Eddie landed on his neck after a German suplex as well in a scary spot. Spinning back fist by Eddie, got a great near fall, and the demo god appeared to have hurt his opponent with a cold breaker, but Kingston fought back and actually claimed a victory by forcing Jericho to tap up. And then after the match, he vowed to show respect to Jericho, but refused to shake Kingston's hand. Abused Kingston was left to celebrate the ring as Jericho the arena. What were your thoughts on that, Gina?
I mean, I'm kind of shocked that he didn't, because Jericho actually said, if you win, like, I'll shake your hand. So I definitely think we're getting, obviously, heel Jericho back, which I think is best, because at this point in time, I think that's the next step for him, is going back to heel. But yeah, I thought it was a good match, and I'm happy because I wanted Eddie to win. And I feel like he needed to get this win as well. I thought the match was great too. I think they both worked well with each other. And Jericho's still, doing his line so and everything. So for me, it was fun to watch because they had built it up well and the story was there. So you kind of felt a little bit invested in seeing, is Eddie finally going to get it? Because Jericho keeps winding him up, saying he can never hit the big mark, So I was glad to see that he won. I was a little bit annoyed, but more as an Eddie fan. I was annoyed that he didn't shake his hand, because I was like, come on, Jericho, don't be bitter, grow up. But to be honest, I also think that it keeps the story going. It keeps, if they need to keep it going for a little bit longer, I'm kind of happy with that. So yeah, why not? But Jericho's just being a child right now, and I'm all here for it.
I really enjoyed Eddie getting his hand raised, and it was his first pay-per-view win, and even he looked confused. I thought that was brilliant. He couldn't believe he had won. And we spoke about...
Yeah, he kept asking, he kept trying to clarify, I won? You sure? I won?
And we talked about Buddy Matthews' body. We should say with Jericho's body, it's been questioned in the past, but after he had that health scare, he looks great. I can see why Eddie chooses a vest top. That's all I'm going to say about that, because be it whatever body type Eddie is, he is well loved, and there's no one quite like him. There seems to be a genuine affection, which you find once in a while with certain wrestlers.
Yeah, I think, do you know what? I have to actually agree with you on that in terms of...
I agree.
Eddie is the type of wrestler that kind of does what he wants without being told what to do, but he makes everything work. So, yeah, it's one of those ones where more than likely he probably should try and listen to his boss every now and again, but I'm not mad at it.
No, without a doubt. And this was a fun match and a good opener. Monty, what are you going to say? 5?
Yeah, I gave it a 4.25. I mean, like I said, I really like this match. I love how Kingston started it. It just felt like a fight, like the whole match. And I thought that matched the build, because Jericho was really disrespectful throughout the build. There was a lack of respect there. So it shouldn't be like a proper wrestling match. It should be more of a fight. And this was that. They dropped each other on their head relentlessly, like both guys, did spots where they landed kind of funny almost. And, I thought this was the best match Jericho had, has had to me in a while, to me. The one, at least, especially the best match, or at least the match I've been the most interested in that he's had in a while. So this was really, really good. And I thought that, like you said, Kingston looked tough, and at the same, and he accomplished the goal. The thing is about the handshake is, if they shook hands, I say this is over. Since he didn't shake his hand, we may be seeing something, another blow-off match down the line. So I'm not really opposed to that. This was cool. 4.25.
Jaxie?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4.25 as well. This match for me went hard. It went really good. I kind of liked the fact that Jericho was flipping off the fan. It did make me think that he was, he is looking to turn heel. And this will be interesting just to kind of see the reaction from Santana and Ortiz. I'm looking forward to sort of the fallout come Dynamite, to see kind of where things are going to lead for the Inner Circle, Jericho, but also for Eddie Kingston, because who knows? I think we're getting some. I like to think that we might be getting some trios tag belts soon. So having a team up of Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz is not a bad deal and not a bad shout at all.
Well, that and Gina.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. No, I'll say a 4.25. I enjoyed it. I think it, like I said, the story was told beforehand, so we were all invested. I love that Eddie came out like a bull in a china shop. It always gets you riled up like that. So I'll give it a 4.25.
Yeah, 4.25 across the boards, because I'm going to score that as well. Poll-wise, Kingston got 73% of the vote, and he did finally win the big one. Predictions, we all went Eddie as well. You know what that means. It means Monty and me are on 3. I'm on 1, Gene and Jaxie are on 4. As we head to our next match for the AEW Tag Team titles, it's Jurassic Express versus Red Dragon versus the Young Bucks. Was anybody else surprised this was on so early?
No, because do you know how many tag or trios matches we had all throughout if anything, I just think that they placed it well there because of the crowd were just going to always get lit from it.
I think that'd be fair to
I agree. We do have quite a couple of trios matches. Part of me did question at the start of it, why didn't they do it the other way round in terms of the trios matches? So the Andrade trios match be first rather than the Young Bucks one. But I think it worked out well in terms of, keeping the crowd all riled up for the event. I definitely agree they should have kept it like that.
Well, we get on to the match. We see Luchasaurus tagged in and start taking out everyone on both opposing teams. The Dragon avoided a dive from Luchasaurus, but it couldn't get out of the way of Jungle Boy. The two challengers teams started working together, took out Luchasaurus at ringside, focused on Jungle Boy in the ring. Both teams stopped each other from winning, but they continued to work together for a little bit. But once communication issues began to come up between the two elite tandems, Luchasaurus tagged in and started bulldozing over everyone. Nick Jackson hit a destroyer to stop the dinosaur in his tracks, but he popped up and chokeslammed everyone a second later. All three teams came close to winning a few times. I mean, I can't do it justice, the amount of kind of near falls. At one point, Jungle Boy hit a shooting star press to Kyle O'Reilly while he's being held by Luchasaurus. It was amazing. And the finisher, Jurassic Express, hit their finisher to score the win and retain their titles. What did you think of this, Jaxie?
It was right from the get-go, it was just, go, go, go. There was so much that was happening. It was really, really great to watch. Jungle Boy, I think he was the MVP of that match because he took so many bumps. He basically was the one that was just taking everything. And I get it because of obviously that then the hot tag to Luchasaurus just made it that much more impactful. But seriously, so Jungle Boy took some of these spots, and I am literally questioning myself. How did you just kick out of that? Again, a really, really great match. It was really hard to kind of call this one in terms of thinking who would be the winner. Like you said, there were so many near falls that I genuinely started to worry that we could be seeing like a new set of champions.
Yeah, I think it was the belt shot with the high-low, and I thought, this is done. Like, Red Dragon have won this, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, fucking hell. And again, with the Bucks, it seems every pay-per-view, it's like Johnny Gargano with takeovers. They just take it up another level. Even this match, think it's going to be good, and you can't take your eyes off it,
Like, can the Bucks really have a bad match? Can they? Because I don't think they can.
They have a formula, man. They have a formula.
They are, right? Yeah, definitely.
And Monty, is it as weird for you as it is for me to see Carl and Bobby on like AEW still? I'm thinking again, how did this happen? Like, how are we getting this match?
A little bit, but not as much. Only reason why is because I was lucky enough to know Red Dragon before they ever came to NXT. So when they all came and were rebranded as the Undisputed Era with Adam Cole, I was excited for that because I was familiar with them for their work with Ring of Honor. So I knew it would be nice. But yeah, I can definitely see that sometimes it can be, surprising. But at this point, I'm not really that shocked by it. But this match, like you said, just so well done. What I like the most is that the story was perfectly executed because it started off. The reason why Jungle Boy took all of those bumps is because it started off like a handicap match, like pretty much. Where basically they was fighting both of them while the Bucks and Red Dragon were working together, off and on. But like I told you guys, as the match went on, as it ended up being which team would come out the winner, Red Dragon and the Bucks butt heads. And here we go with, the champs retaining. But yeah, like you said, they kept trying to just one up each other, and with the spots, it was just crazy.
Yeah, they were
fun.
just,
So I get
they were pulling each other off, weren't they? At one point, being like, "You're supposed to tag us,"
Yeah, like exactly. And then towards the end there, when you think about the scenarios and how the Bucks had it won, but Red Dragon got in the way, and like Red Dragon can make the case that they had it won, and and things didn't go their way because of the Bucks. So it just all played perfectly towards that eventual Red Dragon and Bucks face off that we all probably can see is not far down the line, and it's going to be great because we know what to expect from both of these teams. So I don't know when it's coming, but whenever it's coming, I'm definitely all for it. So yeah, man, this was good. I gave it 4.5.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Like you said, everything you actually just said. Straight up tag match team too. Even with Adam Cole chucked in with Kenny Omega and half as well.
Yeah.
Really, really good
Agree.
stuff.
I feel like I'm going to go with 4.5 as well, James.
And Gina?
I'm going to give it a 5 because I want to be different.
There's
Plus,
a fine line.
Say,
There's a fine line between genius and insanity.
With Red Dragon, like even Ask Jaxie, all she heard in my ear was, "I can't stop watching Red Dragon. I love them so much. I love them." I just think they worked so well.
You kept on wanting them to win, and I was like, "But you didn't vote for them to win, so why do you want them to win?"
Every time they were getting covered, I was like, "No, kick out."
Based on your ratings, this is already the greatest night in wrestling ever. Like 4 or 5-star matches already.
No, I literally love those guys. But I think they all did so well together. The chemistry between all three groups was great. So yeah, 5 from me.
You are like Meltzer in a Tokyo Dome, but like I said, with
I'm easily pleased. Okay, there's a fat difference.
You like what you love, and when they deliver it well, you like it. So what's wrong with that? When I watch, certain things, that's what it's all about. That's why it's different opinions as well.
So that helps.
Right.
Poll-wise, we asked who wins. Young Bucks got 13%, probably their lowest score in any kind of polls we've done. Jurassic Express 30.4%. Red Dragon were favourites with 56.5% as well. Predictions, and I will say this, just in case Wnr411 is listening, because he got it wrong on Twitter, because he was saying his score was going well at certain points. But with Red, he did go Red Dragon. I can confirm. I actually listened back to it. Everyone else went Jurassic Express. All right, I have listened to it. It is fact. Because the emails would be like.
I remember he said Red Dragon as well. Because I remember thinking,
we tied for 6
that they weren't going to retain. So he definitely said Red Dragon. Sorry, Ultimate One.
That means Wnr411, Monty, and myself now on
striking distance.
A point behind Gina and Jaxie on 5. And if this wasn't fun enough, doing 3 hours of and watching a 5-hour pay-per-view, we can do it all again May 29th for Double or Nothing. I mean, again, there's still a level of excitement for AEW pay-per-views because you don't get as many as obviously WWE. So that's right. If everybody's up for it, we'll do exactly the same again, I think, for Double or Nothing.
Oh, yes, I'm in.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what's different between, like, what's different. Like, you know how it is. Like, wrestling changed very, very fast. So, like, what's going to be different in the next few months to get one for that build? I can't wait.
Well, we move on. Who will be the face of the Revolution, the ladder match? And again, there are too many people involved in this to cover kind of everything they did. So I'm going to try and highlight the big stuff. If I forget anything, please let me know. Because Orange Cassidy almost won right away when he jumped onto the backs of a few other competitors, but was unable to reach the golden circle hanging above the ring. I think the visual of Cassidy trying to kick Keith Lee, Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs is still. Like I said, this is what's only Eugene. Even some people love Orange Cassidy, some people hate the stuff he does, and I was laughing my ass off at this point. Christian Cage took out Powerhouse Hobbs with reverse DDT off the ladder. Keith Lee used Cassidy's body as a weapon, as you do, to take everyone out cell for he tried to climb the ladder. Every competitor close to grabbing the ring during a short sequence in the middle of the match. Hobbs hit Cassidy with a suplex from a ladder, leaning in the corner with Keith Lee balancing. Ricky Stark shot himself through a ladder to take Cage out with his spear. All six men end up sharing two ladders, but came down to Hobbs and Wardlow fighting on top to the end. And then we see the three powerhouses came face to face. Lee picked up Cassidy and threw him out of the ring and nearly clearing Christian and Stark. Wardlow knocked Lee and Hobbs off the stage and a couple of tables while Christian attempted to win the match. And of course, Danhausen came in and cursed Starks for ripping him off the ladder. Wardlow jumped up onto the ladders a la Brock Lesnar. Hello, Brock Lesnar. And powerbombed Starks onto before grabbing a brass ring to claim victory. Now, wow, Wardlow did look awesome, but Starks, Gina, I was worried for you. I thought he's been decapitated. It has to be the one Gina likes that gets decapitated live on pay-per-view.
Honestly, with that neck injury that he had as well, Jax,
she was in panic.
I was almost in tears watching this. It was like watching my man get killed in front of me. I could not sit still.
She went into full panic mode, and I had to do a lot of, he's okay, he's gonna be all right, as if we actually know him.
Even I went, Jesus! Like, there's a kind of reaction of, it was fucking unbelievable. Monty, what did you think of this really enjoyable ladder match?
Like you said, it was just full of awesome moments throughout. Like, that's what ladder matches are all about, especially the best ones. When you have multiple people in it, they just create awesome moments. And like you said, Orange Cassidy had some very creative spots. I love like the Keith Lee Finn Balor like NXT callback where he kind of pops up into the shot behind. Yes, yeah. I forgot. I think it was Christian in this case. But yeah.
When that happened, that was brilliant. I had to actually rewind that part. I was like fangirling.
Oh, it was perfect. Yeah, it was. I loved it, man. And this, like I said, just had great spots and it didn't over rely on super crazy like high spots either. Like it had those set pieces, but I thought they were all set up creative. Like, you know what I mean? And I thought it was memorable. And again, that's what ladder matches are all about.
Monty, I have to actually say this, right? Was it just me that was actually shouting at the TV, for God's sake, Orange Cassidy, let the powerhouses fight? Why every time all three of them were in the ring, Orange Cassidy was there.
And that's exactly why he kept getting tossed.
He just gets
like a sack of potatoes.
He thinks he's a heavyweight. He's the Crash Holly of his day.
The one where he cleared everyone, I thought it was over. I was like, we won't see him again.
But I even enjoyed the kind of weird Wardlow Hobbs team up and then breaking the ladder together and all that kind of jazz. Like, it's just really fun.
I'll tell you what, James. When Wardlow came out of nowhere and just like full pelts like pushed Keith Lee
off
the stage, and like you saw them both just in a crumpled mess, and the ref is checking on them, and instantly I was like, Gina, I'm getting flashbacks to me and you like waking up hungover the next morning, and our mother finding us passed out in the living room because we didn't make it upstairs and we're just passed out on the floor on top of each other. And that was all I had in my head. I had to actually take a picture of them and then caption it on Twitter like that because I was like, major flashbacks.
think
that is definitely it. I remember calling Mum as well, saying, "Get me a drink," and she's like, "You're right next to the kitchen, G." That's literally the flashbacks I had just from that moment.
I think at that point when I was watching the match, I was saying, "Get me a drink," but only because I went Keith Lee, and I thought he's not getting up from that. There ain't no.
Oh
way.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's the spot when I knew I was like,
that's
God
when I knew
damn
it was going down.
I
This is
happy.
the one. I mentioned this earlier. This is the one. When Wardlow won this, I was like, "Yep, there go my prediction chances right there." Because I should have went with it. He had the storyline going into it. I'm like, "You idiot!
Yeah.
You idiot.
Why didn't we choose him, Monty? Why did
Exactly. You should have listened to me.
Because
You
we're
should've
men.
listened to
That's
me.
what men do.
You deserve
Men
it.
don't listen.
Right, we're idiots. Exactly. We're just idiots. We try to outsmart ourselves sometimes. And there you go. You know, but anyway,
exactly.
I gave it 4 1/4. This was good though. This is really, really cool. Like all the spots, sick. So I have no problem with it because in the end, it all made a lot of sense. So it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're about that. I think this is the thing about like most shone in this. Wardlow looked incredible, and of course, people will say some of it didn't make sense, but it's a ladder match in professional wrestling. It shouldn't make sense anyway. And there was
Exactly.
there was news of Orange Cassidy as well suffering a shoulder injury. He probably when, like he said, he was thrown clear of the. I shouldn't laugh.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but again. It was an incredible spot. So we say out of 5. Bont, you gave it 4 1/4. Gina, what would you score that?
Okay, I'm going to give it a 5, but that's because my man is in this match, so he's always going to get top marks. But can I also ask a request?
Oh, yeah.
Can somebody please get me that Stroke Daddy shirt that he came out in, please? Thank you. Because he looks so good in red. But I will give it a 5. I enjoyed it. I was on the edge of my seat watching it the entire time. Guys, I'm happy with a large size in that shirt. If you're going to get it for me, that's great. I would prefer the large. I can pretend it's his.
I'm just going to clip the episode to just have Gina being like, 5! Ooh, Ricky Stark, 5! 5!
5! Get me Stroke
Red,
Daddy
he
shirt.
looks great in red! Big Daddy! Sexy Daddy! Oh dear, we do have fun. Jaxie, what would you score?
I don't know if I'd actually give it a 5. I'll give it a 4.5.
That is fair enough. I'm going to give it a 4 1/4. I really, really enjoyed it actually looking back, but I'm going to stick with what I scored at the time. And we asked everybody, Starks, Hobbs, and Christian got combined.
Put in, I wasn't really happy with that Dan Housen guy coming out and getting involved. I know he didn't do much, but I don't get his character.
He's very nice, very evil. That's what.
I just don't get him. I don't get his character and how we're meant to look at him. I really don't. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and people upsetting me put curses on them. There
you go.
Yeah.
And clearly, whenever someone hurts Orange Cassidy, he gets upset by it. So don't hurt Orange Cassidy, and then you won't get.
That's what I need explained. I need their relationship explained.
Yeah, I think
how is he friends with
They should
he
have
looks bastard every time Danhausen comes out.
They should have a gritty black and white video like Sting and Darby do explaining their relationship.
Right.
Just completely outside the box, like in a children's home, what happened when they both turned into these characters.
I would totally want to watch that.
On to polls anyway. We are Sarks, Hobbs and Christians was 6.7%. Orange Cassidy was 10%. Keith Lee was 40%, but Wardlow 43.3%. And like we alluded to earlier, predictions, Monty, Albert One, and myself went for Keith Lee. So we're on 4 points. Gina and Jaxie take a 2-point lead together at this moment in time. Both went Wardlow. And then Tony Schiavone showed up on stage, and the surprise was somewhat ruined by a massive swerve written on the contract and him pointing it at the fucking camera.
I am so grateful I looked away from the screen, so I missed that, so I didn't see it. The chat is
I ruined it for you. I was shouting at you like, why would you show us this?
It was just, what the fuck are you doing, Tony? I know JR's going, where the hell are we? But come on.
I know, it really upset me that we literally were just about to get, like, you know, told he's here. But you ruined it with, like, literally that close-up shot. Like, what?
Unbelievable. Well, they did introduce a realist Shane Swerve Strickland. Swerve said he can go on about the great match he's going to have and the championship's going to win, but he has one question for the people. People want to know whose house? Swerve's house. And Monty, you can attest to this. I said on NXT that this guy is a star, and I think he's going to be a huge star in AEW. Sank in the eyes. I can't take my eyes off him.
Yeah, I mean, he got star written all over him, man. You know, easily. And we all know, and also what we familiar with what he can do in the ring with anybody. So that's going to be another thing that's going to fit him really well with this roster, because, you know, that's the type of roster they're building over here. A lot of people who can work with many different styles, and, you know, so I think he'll be fine. And I'm glad that he's here and able now to show everyone that what we all knew, like you said, that he was just a star. All we need to do, all he needed was time, or at least just someone to believe in him creatively. And we know what he can do, and I think he'll have a shot here to do it.
I want to add as well, Monty, that can we just actually put a shout out to the fans that were already shouting whose house, Swerve's house, before Swerve said it? I loved that, because it just goes to show you the excitement that was coming from the fans. You know, there's one thing, if there's a small slither of Tony or anyone from creative that are watching this, can I please just put my 2 cents in, and can you please just listen to me when I say, please give Swerve his original NXT entrance music, because it was by far my favorite, and his whole entrance to it as well. Just, it screamed Swerve. Please give us that, because I loved that beat. That beat went hard.
They were also in Orlando too, by the way. So that's a nice place to do it. So, like, the fans who are, if it was some NXT original or like NXT fans in the crowd, they got to see him, you know, in this arena. So that was cool too.
Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, some fans probably watched NXT, you know, 3-4 years ago, heard about a rebrand and think it's AEW. so like I said,
Yeah. If you mention certain names, if you haven't been watching the last few years, you're like, hold on, where the hell Adam Cole?
Got Undisputed Era, they got Hit Row, they got fucking everybody.
Everyone.
But anyway,
Hit Row would be just as good as well, you know, and then Vince would be sat there like, shit. Why didn't we do anything with them?
How did they, you know, Hit Row. I've said this on NXT when they moved up roster. I don't know how you. But again, we're not going to focus on that. Focus on AEW. We move on to the TBS Championship. Jade Cargill with Smart Mark Sterling versus Tay Conti. And Anna Jay and -1 appear on the stage to wish Tay luck. Should have pounded her a sledgehammer maybe. But Conti had some war paint on her face. Looked fire up. She walked to the ring. Jade was played out by Kingfish. Good. Mm-hmm. Cargill gave Conti a kiss to mess her right as the bell rang, but Conti narrowly avoided a finisher. Cargill managed to maintain control. She mocked the judo practitioner, so Conti took her down with an arm drag, hit some well-placed kicks in the corner. Conti took out Mark Sterling with a senton from the top rope, so Cargill hit Anna Jay with a pump kick that floored her in an instant. Anna Jay hit Cargill with a chair while the ref wasn't looking, but it wasn't enough to keep the champ down. Conti hit the DDT for a close 2 count, but then Cargill hit a frog splash. Yes, a frog splash from the top rope for a near fall. She caught Conti coming off and hit Jaded to retain her championships. What were your thoughts on this, Gina?
I absolutely enjoyed this match. Absolutely loved Jade's gear, her ring gear, and her entrance. Her entrance was lit with that live music, you know, and I like her. I love the beat of her song as well when it comes out anyway. So to hear that being played live, it was so awesome. I'm a massive Mortal Kombat fan, so seeing her come out dressed as Jade, it literally just had my, you know, little gamer side screaming inside. So, no, I definitely enjoyed the match.
Well, I don't objectify, anybody, but if Jay Cargill wants to objectify me, I've got no problems. Like, she's just...
Same. I want to get jaded.
She's a god. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm a mere mortal, and this is what's living.
Exactly. No, I definitely would like to get jaded. I didn't think that Ty was going to win it because I don't think that Ty should be the one to take away from Jade's winning streak. I think they need to keep her streak going. They're just building her and booking her so great. But I also think that Ty gave her a really good match because Jade is a very dominant wrestler with all the people that she's gone against so far. Even her match with Anna Jay she dominated that quite a lot. So to see Ty, really give Jade a good run for her money was really fun to see. But she still brought it back because, no one can kind of put Jade down at this point.
No, about that, she's main event talent. She's untouchable, and like I said, there's going to be a bigger talent, or bigger star, so to speak, to stop Jade. This was an okay match. I felt it was kind of wedged in, and maybe the crowd, like I said, the crowd were excellent for a few matches, but I think for a few of them, maybe a little bit quiet. But again, you need to recover as well.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And I probably had my eye off it a little bit just because I knew the result wasn't going to change, if you know
True.
what I mean. Like, but I still thought it was a good match.
I'd like to put in my little 2 cents, which, I don't know why, but a certain amount of jealousy came over me when I saw that kiss between Jade and Ty. I didn't actually even realize that I would get jealous over something like that. So, if I ever met Jade,
I got a bit jealous too.
If there was any confrontation between me and Jade, and she wanted to end it with a kiss like that, I'm all here for it. So I just wanted to put that in just in case she listens.
We are literally creating fan fiction.
The Jade kissing booth.
But there are people, there are men listening at home to this and drawing pictures as we
Well, I mean, if I didn't have a slight girl crush on Jade already, just because of how amazing she looked and how she moves, my crush went into overdrive when I saw that kiss. So I know Sammy was probably having, little kittens in the back
he's
there.
savoring it.
That's why he's got the 2 belts.
Right. Watching it on rewind at home.
Yeah, for sure.
This is my favorite spot in this match. No, that's terrible. This is great.
Kudos again to Jade Frog Splash. I think that is the first Frog Splash we've actually seen from her, and she delivered perfectly. It looks great. And it looks great in her green suit as well. You could give me, sort of Mortal Kombat Jade the whole time. If this is why she dyed her hair green for this whole persona, I really don't mind. I'm not mad at it. I love both the white hair and the green hair she's given us. Just right now, she's supposed to be the biggest heel, and yet she could do no wrong in my eyes.
No,
she was dressed as a ninja saying, "Fuck that karate shit."
You know what I mean? She literally was like,
I love it.
She was like, I'll beat that karate shit.
That's hilarious, man.
Right, so we've got to score it out of 5. So I'm going to give that a 4. No, I'm not going to give it a 4. What am I talking about? I'm going to give it a 3.25. Again, I thought it was all right in places. Jaxie, what would you score it out of 5?
I'm going to give it a 4.25, and the quarter is specifically just for Jade's outfit.
Monty?
Yeah, I gave it 3.5. Like I said, the match itself was not bad at all to me. It was cool. I wondered, was it like actually pay-per-view worthy? But other than that, it wasn't bad. Like it was cool, and I didn't mind it at all. So 3.5.
And Gina?
I'll give it a 4. It's mainly a 4 because Jade. That's the main reason. She's just badass. But I'll give it a 4 for sure. I do think that maybe we need to start building up some more female wrestlers to be on Jade's level, because I do think that she needs more variety, because again, I as much as we all love Ty, I don't think anybody was kind of assuming she was going to win it in this match. I just think that they need to build up some more people so that we actually can see a match that Jade is in and be like, oh, could Jade be in trouble right now? So, yeah 4, I think, is fair enough for that.
No, I completely agree with that as well. Poll-wise, Jade with 77% of the vote. So there's still people that thought Tay, or maybe Sammy Cabrera was voting. Predictions, we all went Cargill. So it means the boys have 5. The girls have 7.
7.
As we head. Yeah, at this moment in time, Gina, you are 7 out of 7. That is unbelievable stuff.
Fire.
This is my first one, guys. So far, this is my first straight flush right now, so I'm just gonna revel in it and bask in it as much as I can.
Unfortunately, it is CM Punk versus MJF next. So, for some, I will say, and we thought.
God damn that match! God damn it!
Anyway, we
Why
thought.
did I say MJF? Why?
We'll get on to that in a minute, will we? Oh my god, I fanboyed in this match as well because we thought CM Punk was coming out with his music hit, but it turned out MJF instead. And when it was time for Punk's entrance, he had an elaborate smoke show on the stage while his old Ring of Honor song played. But it really got me, actually, because I remember watching him for the first time with bleached blonde hair and a brutal chain match against Raven. Anybody wants to treat, you can go check that out, or go and watch any match with Chris Hero, especially the TLC match that they had. They used to have 90-minute classics back in the day. So, like I said, it kind of it was really weird because Punk, like I said, I've been a fan for a very long time to see that. And, of course, with the dog collar match as well, we know how dangerous that can be as we see the referee putting around their necks. Of course, a little bit of stretch on it. We see the old tug-of-war between the two. We begin with Punk whipping MJF with the chain. MJF got his knees and tried to apologise, but Punk wasn't buying it. Kicked in the face and stomped on his fingers. Salt of the Earth trapped Punk's head for a kick in the corner, followed with a powerbomb. He whipped the straight-edge superstar with a train. You could always see welts good in form for the impact. MJF used the chain to bust Punk wide open and then grabbed the mic and taunted him as he stomped in his face. And it's really weird that MJF was doing this because you're thinking, Punk, that is a really deep blade job, and MJF is obnoxious as well. But I was thinking, I can't think of many times, apart from maybe The Rock, that someone's grabbed a match in the middle of such a big match and kind of made it work as well in a weird way. But we see Punk regaining control, call for the GTS. MJF blocked it, locked in the Salt of the Earth. The Second City Satan rolled him over to escape and put him in the Anaconda Vice. We see Punk wrapping a chain around his knee and hit MJF with a Shining Wizard. He beat on MJF some more and threw him into the steel steps. Of course, the pace slowed. They started killing every move count. They sold their blood loss and injuries. And then MJF grabbed a bag of thumbtacks from under the ring, dumped them on the mat. Of course, both men go to trade blows. Who's going to fall in it? And it ended with MJF suplexing Punk onto them. And then finally, down the stretch, MJF called for Wardlow as he slowly made his way to the ring. He's supposed to hand the heel his Dynamite Diamond ring. But looked like he couldn't find it. Punk hit the GTS, and MJF fell on the tacks and then did jazz hands as he went down on him. But Wardlow put the ring out of his pocket. It wasn't actually in the right pocket. It was in the left all along and left it on the apron in front of Punk. The reaction from the crowd there was just wonderful as well. As then Punk put the ring on and levelled MJF to get the victory. What were your thoughts on this? Start with Jaxie.
Are you going with me on this one?
Yes, you start. You start off with your thoughts.
I mean, you're not going to go any wrong. We all wanted to see this rematch between the two. I don't know about everyone else, but I kind of called it. Did I not? In the last, I say, is that right?
It's a show off.
No, but I'm asking you, James, in case I'm making this up. I'm asking you. Didn't I say that word there was kind of like going to get involved, but not for MJF's side? I'm pretty sure
that was
word for word.
The word for word basically. The idea was we was talking about Wardlow having that turn, and I went back and listened back because I was pretty sure, Jaxie, being predictions that you went for MJF. And then you switched, and you went, no, I'm going to go Punk, actually. And I thought, you motherfucker. But anyway, it's not about
No, do you know what? I have to be a bit smug about that because I I think even when watching Revolution and the ladder match, as soon as I saw Wardlow win, I was like, my prediction is going to come right, that he is actually going to turn up in the CM Punk match, but not for MJF. So this match went hard. You saw the welts on the backs of MJF and even CM Punk from those chains. So this was definitely one that went hard. There were certain points as well for me that it was hard to watch because of the amount of blood that was flowing.
Yes.
Like it was just like spotting everywhere, and it was really hard to watch that, to be honest. But I think that MJF got his just desserts. I genuinely was disgusted when I saw him spit at Punk. I cannot stand spitting. It's just so seeing him spit at Punk, I was like, if you don't punch him in the face with that ring right now and get the 1, 2, 3 Punk, I'm going to come down there and spit in your face too. So I was really glad with the outcome.
Well, but for me, this was like the old. This is the Punk from Ring of Honor doing it, but it's still a bloody ring. Like again, how much impact has this ring? But again, the story of it being told. But as you said, Jackson, I think with Punk,
MJF has been using them.
Yeah, without a doubt, like I said, been using them. But I think with Punk's the Crimson Mask, I thought he went too hard too early, and I thought, how the hell is he going to last throughout the match? So credit to that. I'm sure at one point MJF put him to sleep and tried to put pressure on her.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you might be right there. You never know, because he did manage to put him to sleep twice in one match. So.
But again, I mean, I thought this was a really, really good match. So we go out of 5. Monty, what would you score it out of 5?
I gave it 4.25. I'm not really a big fan of the collar or like the strap matches in general, mostly for the most part. But I thought this really was good because it matched the story, like the intensity of the story that they were already telling through promo and all of that. And it just felt like a big deal, And like I said, I like you said, this is really graphic. It really was brutal. But again, it all matched, and I thought when Wardlow got involved, it was just perfectly done. It kind of put this match over the top for me, in my opinion. But I did think it went a little long at times, and like you said, maybe it was because of the blood loss. By the way, he had lost a lot of blood in the other segment, like a few days before that. So it just Punk really was giving you guys everything he had, if you know what I mean. But I love how this feud set up MJF Wardlow, set that up perfectly. You know what I mean? It's like this was like a perfect little segue into the problems that Wardlow and MJF will have going forward. So this was great. I gave it 4.25 though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not making excuses, but I think for me, I thought Wardlow might, turn on MJF in this match. And did he need this moment as well as the Face of Revolution ladder match? But I just think now that's going to be used. That opportunity will be used as a story for MJF to screw him over, and then the story will build maybe from there. But again, I mean, Gina, what would you score out of 5?
I mean, I'll give it a 4.5 as well. I definitely think that they both went hard. It was such a fun match to watch, but just like Monty said, I literally said to Jaxie, didn't Punk lose so much blood a couple of days ago? And then the way it was just flowing out, it's like he reopens that wound and it just decided to fall out again. So he definitely was probably wrestling with half of the blood in his body. But it was still a really good, fun match, and the storytelling was great. I actually had a feeling that even though Wardlow came out and went to pass in the ring, I thought Punk was going to do some sort of, no, I'm the face. I can't, use this to win. I have to win just by myself. But he still did it. So fair play. And I really enjoyed it. When the thumbtacks were brought out, I have to admit, I was watching behind a pillow. There's something about thumbtacks. That feeling of stepping on a Lego with no shoes on? It's like that. I can, the cringeness of it. So the thumbtacks just had me cringing. But it was still a great match, so I'll give it a 4.5.
Well, the thing about thumbtacks, I don't want to seem like a prude or anything like this, but special occasions, and it's now I can think of maybe a handful of times AEW have used it. You don't use it all the time, though, just for every hardcore match, because then thumbtacks become the new, garbage or trash can that they used to hit over the head. So Like I said, it still has impact.
They should just bring out the Lego. Bring out the Lego instead. There you go. It's same impact, same pain. Seriously. It's a Lego match.
It's a Lego match. Just fall. Oh my God, he fell in all the Lego. You can just imagine it.
That would be great. He went into the Lego castle. The Lego castle's down.
Count that down, man. Stop it. Yeah, sorry.
I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4 1/4.
4 1/4.
Yeah.
Excellent for there. And poll-wise, well, this was an interesting one. CM Punk got 69% of the vote. And predictions...
Wait.
Predictions from this.
Right.
We all went CM Punk, apart from Gina. And that means that Jaxie takes the outright lead at this moment in time. 8 points.
Oh,
Gina
yes.
is on 7.
Why did I choose MJF? Why?
Why did you? Seriously. I didn't want to say... You can't say anything whilst people do it. But I'm just like, read the room.
I mean, to be fair though, James, to be fair, I wanted to be different from you all, okay? And just like I got shit for The Miz, for choosing The Miz, I'm now going to get shit for choosing MJF. So it's something about those 3 letters that decide to screw me over.
Yeah, beginning with M. Anybody like
Yeah. 3 letters, beginning with M, they screw me over.
Loudmouth. Heel.
Well, this is unbelievable, and I know Jaxie is gloating at this moment in time. I can feel it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm reaping it whilst it lasts because it's not going to last long. We all know it.
Well, we'll find out with what happens next because it's Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's Championship. And Britt Baker had a brand new title belt around her waist.
Should have known.
Yeah, that belt. Why did it take 2 years to get that belt for the women's title?
They upgraded the belt like 6 months ago, didn't they? Make it like 1/8 bigger every month.
Yeah, let's not talk shit.
Poor Sheeta, Nyla, and
that belt stayed the same size. They just put a little bit extra bling on it to make it look good. Like they didn't actually upgrade it. This is an upgrade. Just saying.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, but the last time they did a belt upgrade was Sheeta, and she lost it. So that's why. And that's why I thought I was going to get this win.
No, I definitely knew. As soon as I saw Britt with the new belt, I was like, oh, I fucked it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's exactly what happened to me. I was like, these son of a bitches, why right now?
Isn't it funny that the whole point is to review a wrestling show, but instead, because of these predictions, it becomes so much more personal.
Yeah,
that's true.
You take it personally. You're just like, why are you doing me dirty like that? Why are you doing me dirty?
Oh, and trust me,
it's like
this outcome affected my ratings.
But it's the equivalent. It's literally, it is the thing of, it's not anybody else. I'm not annoyed by anybody else. It's, why the fuck did you vote for? Why did you pick him, James? Like, you knew he was. It's like, why did you go Chris Statlander? What, you knew she weren't going to fucking win. It's just, you have a go at yourself more than anything else, I find.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, like we said, we're going to move on, and we have got the women's title match, and they locked up and fought for a long time to gain control. Rolled around a few times without releasing the tie-up. Rosa managed to take Baker down in the headlock to kickstart a sequence hold and counters. We see Julian Chance broke out. They continue to go back and forth, for the challengers started to gain some momentum for Baker dropped with a net break in the corner. Jamie Hayter and Rebel helped the champ get an unfair advantage by distracting the ref and attacking when his back was turned. Rose hit a German suplex out of nowhere to give herself a chance to recover. She began making a comeback as a crowd rallied behind her. She hit a suplex to pick Baker up for a fireman's carry net breaker. Rose prevented her opponent from putting him in a lockjaw, but she couldn't keep her down. Pin. She spiked the champ with a tombstone pile driver, but Rebel kept the ref from making the count. Baker hit a stomp on the title bell, but Rosa somehow managed to kick out. At this point, I'm thinking Rosa might actually get this done here. as the challenger made a tap to a submission, but the referee was distracted. Rosa speared Rebel off the apron, took Hayter down with a clothesline, and as she came back in, got caught with the stomp, and Britt Baker retained her championship. Monty, what do you think of the match, first and foremost?
I thought this was actually. I thought they worked really hard. Like I thought this was, like I didn't have a problem with the match. Like I love the way that we mentioned the belt. I love the way it looked, and I think it finally looks like it's on par with the world title. I should have known, like you said, who was winning. I mentioned it, but this match. I just hated some things, man, because it's not even just about being wrong about who won. It's like, what's the point of this whole Mercedes thing if the numbers game is still going to come into a play here? You know what I mean? And then like she got caught. Right, for that to be the main reason that she lost again is a numbers game. It's just like kind of, just that's stuck in my craw. I didn't like that, but I give them credit because it was a big match to follow, in my opinion, and they wasn't boring. I thought they worked really, really hard, but I had to take some points off. I gave it 3 3/3 quarters because I thought it was good. As far as like the work they did, but the finish and like the way everything played out, I wasn't a fan of it, and I don't know if we're gonna talk about it now, but they announced something later that made me hate this even worse. So.
But the thing is look how long it took with Kenny Omega, how long it took Paige to kind of beat the numbers to get to that point, so maybe they're doing it with Britt. I think the couple of problems with this, they took too long for the feud to reignite after that awesome match of the year last year. The crowd was obviously tired after the chain match. There was a couple of missteps there as well. I mean, this should have been as hot as anything was. Again, maybe match placement. I'm glad they changed the canvas because I was wondering when Punk was, like I said, pissing out blood, whether they're going to change it or not, and they did. But I think we want more. Even as fans and everything like that, we wanted more with this. Rosa will always give 100%. And I think, like you said, the next time they meet up, there'll be a stipulation where Britt has to do it alone. And that'll probably be Rose's time. But, I mean, like I said, I don't think it was a bad match. But I just think there's a few things missing, so I'm going to give it 3.5. I don't know what you think about that, Jaxie.
Yeah, I'm actually going to give it 3.5 as well. And I think that the disappointment for me lies in exactly what Monty was saying with, what is the point? You had sort of Mercedes Martinez come in and initially was the enemy of Thunder Rosa until she had then, had her back turned on by Britt and that, and she kind of became like a semi-ally. And then, we saw that she kind of had come out to make the save sort of on a few odd occasions. So it made no sense as to why she just didn't turn up to like kind of help out with the numbers game. I also think it's just a little bit disheartening for me because I think that everyone knows that it should have been Thunder Rosa to take it, and it probably will be Thunder Rosa still that will take the belt off of Britt, but keeping it on Britt just a little bit longer for me just didn't really make sense. Like, even if we are going to eventually like redo this match and have it so that there's no interaction or interference, coming from the others, like if they don't do that on like a big pay-per-view, then it's really just kind of not solidifying the importance of the belt. And I think, especially because of it was a new belt yesterday, it should have gone to a new champion. So I was slightly disappointed, and not from a fan point of view, but from a story build-up point of view. I don't necessarily think that we needed to have this match again. That being said, I'm not going to complain. The match itself was really good. When the tomfoolery wasn't involved, the match itself was good. Thunder Rosa and Britt worked well together. I'll always be a fan of watching their matches, but in terms of the right person won, I don't think that was true.
Gina, what are you thinking?
Sorry, I was in the middle of burping. I'm going to go with 3.5. I'm going to go with 3.5. Always. Always.
Can't hold what you haven't got in your hand.
Yeah. No, I'm going to go 3.5. I'm disappointed Thunder Rosa didn't win, and part of me, I love Thunder Rosa. She's still really good. I don't think that this is going to affect her in any way, but in my eyes, I was even saying to Jaxie that how many more times is Thunder Rosa going to lose it to the point where you're like, well, what's the point on her going for the belt then? Because she keeps losing when it comes to the actual belt title matches. So I'm going to give it a 3.5, but I do hope that at some point we do have Thunder Rosa as a champion, because the fans love her so much. She gets the biggest pops when she comes out. This match could have been a little bit better, as we know they both have done better in their previous matches. So I do think eventually she will become champ, but I'm going to give it a 3.5 this time.
Well, we're on to polls, and Rosa got 62% of the vote. Predictions. Ultimate One and myself went for Baker, so we both move on to joining Gina. Of course, Monty is still on 6, and Jaxie, our leader at this moment in time, gets her first wrong one of the night. She was 8 for 8. You were 8 for 8 at that moment in time, which would win a WWE pay-per-view usually. So that's a great run. There's no doubt about that.
I know, but fucked it over for me. Brett fucked it over for me.
Yes!
Well, we move on. And up next is Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley. And these are the type of matches I miss commentating on, because the story was great. Bryan, one of the best technical wrestlers in the world, trying to out-wrestle Mox. But Mox's ground game is underrated, so Bryan switched to strikes, which you would think would favour Mox, but Bryan got the upper hand. And there's no doubt Bryan's kicks are lethal. You see him keep upping the aggression as they continue to fight, but the referee made sure it was all legal. Danielson climbed the top rope, but missed a diving headbutt. He hit a few running drop kicks in the corner for Moxley, took him down with a pair of suplexes. Submission specialist locked him in a guillotine, but of course the former AEW World Champ was able to pull out of it. And they brawled at ringside until Moxley was busted open and bleeding. I mean, we talked about the Punk, blade job earlier. The Moxley one was absolutely ridiculous as well. Even so much so, we weren't sure if Danielson had been busted open or not, and he found out he had as well. We see a flurry of elbows to the face for putting Moxley into a Dragon Sleeper. I thought it was all over for Mox at this point. When the Dragon Sleeper went in, I thought it was done, but Mox escaped and hit several elbow strikes. He locked in a Bulldog choke, but down to the counter with a suplex. He drilled Mox for a running knee for a 2 count. Moxley refused to give up low, and the triangle choke, and rolled over to his rival after Bryan had the triangle choke in to get the pin and the win. Now, I thought the kind of finish was just kind of not out of nowhere, but it was a bit surprised because I was building and building more. And then this happened, because they started fighting after the bell, and the ref called for help to break them up. And William Regal walked down and got between them. He slapped both men.
Is it just me that can't hear anything?
And got them to shake hands. This was...
It was... That came out of nowhere, right? I literally was like, who called Dad? Who called Dad to come out?
I mean, I will say, take a bow, Regal, with the introduction of him to this. Just take my fucking money. Here's my bank card. Print what, take out what you need. And I'm there for it. Regal's eyes, that look we've not seen for a very long time. And Moxley and Danielson shaking hands was a fucking moment in itself on top of the match. Gina, what were your thoughts on this match?
Wait, can you repeat that? I'm sorry, my internet cut out.
There's always something with you, isn't there?
We can...
We're talking about, obviously, the Moxley-Danielson match, and what were your thoughts?
I thought it was a great match. I honestly just couldn't... I didn't know who was going to win it. I honestly didn't. I wanted Bryan Danielson to win, but that was just because I had chosen him. So there wasn't exactly... there wasn't a preference. I wasn't going to be mad at either one of them winning, to be honest. I thought it was really, really good to see them both in a match. But I also couldn't understand how we were going to get them to be friends after this match, because they were both going hard on each other. So I was thinking, well, how are they going to... Whoever wins, how are they going to then be like, okay, well, fair enough. So it was nice to see that little surprise at the end. It really was. And you can tell that that's why they're going to be able to get together and get on the same page, because they're going to have someone whipping the leash but I really enjoyed it. So.
What about that? And I mean, we talked about earlier the amount of NXT talent, and now the general manager shows up and drops the fucking mic. You know, that is something else, you know. And it's a wonderful moment. But the match itself, I mean, with Moxey, I've compared him to maybe like Stone Cold in the past, but I don't think it's right. It's more like Brian Pillman. There's this unhinged mentality to him that you're just not sure what he's going to do. And I don't know about you guys, but this is exactly what they said was going to happen. It's exactly what they delivered. It's exactly what we fucking wanted. It was just brilliant. The finish was abrupt. That's the only thing I could say I didn't like.
Yeah. I think it came out of nowhere, the ending. But, I mean, in terms of, like, the wrestling content, we all knew that we weren't going to be disappointed seeing Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson, you know? Both of them are such hard workers anyway, so just watching them both in the ring, just it screams excitement in the first place. That being said, the minute William Regal came out and then got in their faces, didn't even care that they're spreading blood, I was just like, oh, shit. No. We are about to get some pretty decent not only promos but matches coming from like this team up of Mox and Danielson, but then you're gonna add the likes of Regal into this. It's definitely got me excited.
Well, it's a case of like, you know, even with Mox, and it's like, oh, the Shield as a group, you know, it'd always been the Shadow, and I'm just like, Shield who? Like, it's Regal, Danielson and Moxley. It's gonna be fucking incredible. You add like the younger talent to it. It's just great, you know. And I rather than a tag team, there could be a stable or whatever it is, and just have complete control. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, out of 5, I'm going to give this 5 out of 5. I don't care. I'm going to do a Gina. I'm going to go 5 out of 5. Jaxie, what are you going to score this?
So I'm actually going to give it 4 and 3/4. So just a little bit off. But that's mainly because you know, I'm a little bit sore because I voted for Danielson to win the Mox one.
Well, we'll find out in just a second. Maybe that's why James is a little bit happier. Monty, what are you going to score it out of 5?
Yeah, I gave it 4.5. The night I watched it, I went back and watched it, and then I was like, okay, yeah, that match is great, awesome, perfect. And then the moment after the match, the entire time, 100 stars. Like, max out, whatever chart you want. You just give it all that was just take my money. Like you said, I can't even explain it any better than you guys, other than the fact that I'm watching everything they do from now on. That's the only thing I can tell you about that. Moxley's a madman. Danielson is the best wrestler in the world, move for move, in my opinion. Like, I don't know if anyone does it better, more consistently than him. And what they're going to do together, the crowd's energy, you know, had died down, and they still was working so good that it didn't even matter. You know, it was just, and then shouts out to AEW, by the way, for booking a match like this. Usually cards do not book two matches on the same card that's that bloody and brutal. But they did it in a creative, different way. Like you said, no, no thumbtacks, no collar needed to bust open, anything. You know, this is they were bleeding, but it was all from like wrestling. So, and then the finish was abrupt, but Moxley out wrestled a person he never beat before. So I thought that even was fine. So it was cool, man. 100 stars.
And Gina, what are you gonna say?
Yeah, I'm gonna say 4 3/4. I definitely feel like William Regal coming out at the end was like my dad coming to split a fight up between me and Jaxie. It just definitely resonated as well. I've always loved William Regal, even from the Attitude Era and his stank face from back then. So I can imagine him bringing that stank face back with Mox and Danielson, the excitement that we're going to have on all the different stories that we could potentially get. I'm so excited for it, and the match itself was great. Just like Monty said, you know, there was 2 brutal matches on this card, but they did it creatively in 2 different ways. It wasn't the same match, and I was kind of worried it was going to be a similar match to the dog collar one, just minus the dog collar. So I just thought it was brilliant, and so yeah, 4 3/4.
Yeah, this is the thing, and it shows the talent of the men. Like I said, Monty, with Danielson, they call him one of the best technical wrestlers. I think, like, just one of the best wrestlers. I think we've seen that overall.
Yeah, just in general.
Honestly, like, heel, face, whatever character you want to do, he can. You know, he's a cold-blooded killer at this moment in time. And like we talked about as well, when you said, Gene, it's just brutal. You know, that is the word. And it shows you what you can do when you know, tables or chairs or whatever else. There's just two men beating the fuck at each other, which again is just so good to see.
That's exactly what they did, and that's exactly what they said they were going to do as well, and they delivered on that.
Well, poll-wise, Moxley was 62% of the vote. And predictions, well, me and Monty, we went Mox. So, and unfortunately, Gene at Jack's the ultimate one.
The smugness coming from you. I'm just going to slap it on you, Jane. Oh, smug bastard.
This was a slow descent for me. This was a slow descent. It started with Britt and then it just kept getting worse. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was on a real hot streak and then this happened.
Well, I got to say, I moved level with Jaxie on 8. And Monty moves level with Gina and the up one on 7. Gina, 3 in a row wrong. The wheels have fucking come off. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, James, you just keep going. I'm going to come find you. Seriously. No, honestly, my losses just started adding up here. And I think I had forgotten which ones I had selected. So at this point, when I was watching the pay-per-view, I thought to myself, am I negative now? Have I gotten into my negative? So yeah, it's just one day I'm gonna get to play the smug bastard and I'm gonna roll in it. I really will.
Well, when it comes, like I said, I've been the tortoise to Jesse's hair in this one. Like I said, I've just been quietly going about my business, and I couldn't believe it when I looked at the scores as well at that point in time. As we move on to our penultimate match, which was Sting, Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara versus Matt Hardy, Cassidy El Idolo. I mean, seriously, Andrade, what is the point of wearing a suit and mask on when you just wear it for 10 seconds? Like, what, why? It just...
Wait, I swear, Gina, did we find out that this is a character? That...
Yeah.
Gina, did we find... he dressed like some sort of character?
Yeah. But
it's all part of the ungovernable style. See, Tetsuya Naito in Japan, he wears a suit for his big matches too, and make you wait for him to strip. So I don't necessarily know if this is just something that you do when you're ungovernable, because he is tied to the real Los Ingobernable. So I know that sounds like a lot of gibberish to you guys, but anyway, this is a faction that Andrade used to be a part of before he was ever in WWE, when he was La Sombra, Black Mask. So the only thing he's missing now is the mask. He used to do this a lot, basically, James, is what I'm trying to say.
So basically, he puts the suit on before he goes out to take it off the second he comes out.
Yes.
God damn it. God damn it, does that man look good in a suit? Does that man look good in a suit? Hell yeah.
I only see it for 5 seconds. I'll have to go backstage.
They are impactful, those 5 seconds. The suit is still seen. It's still seen.
Plus, it gives you the Chippendales effect for the ladies, or for everyone who's interested. Yeah, a little strip tease, little slow strip tease.
You might be just taking a little bit from Valvinus,
I mean, if anybody needed an entrance walk, it would be Andrade from the back, to, from his dressing room to the arena, just so the suit would actually have a little bit more of an
Get
effect.
Some camera time.
Yes, I mean, look at that suit. Man, you don't use me a lot.
I do have to say, Andrade's music is brilliant as well, though. So I think he would benefit from having a bit of a better entrance, because his music is so good. But yeah, he definitely needs either to come from backstage like he's a Goldberg, so that he gets more time in the suit, or not.
Well, the thing as well about AEW that I really do like is the fact that this should be a cool-down match before the main event, and they've just gone, fuck it, let's just have tornado tag, let's just go crazy.
Right?
Moxley. I mean, like I said, the match was Tornado rules. So everybody was legal. No one was legal. And again, trying to recap the biggest spots with Darby Allin and Andrade, while Sami and Zayn fought. Sting took out Matt Hardy and Jose before they started grabbing weapons from under the ring. And they put Jose in a trash can and held him in place. While Allin nailed him with a suicide dive. There is no one better with a suicide dive than Darby Allin. Guevara hit Cassidy with a perfect double springboard cutter. We saw a pairing from both teams take turns fighting each other in and out of the ring with neither a clear advantage. The Butcher and the Blade came out to help beat up Sting, while Mark Quinn showed up to aid Cassidy. So even in a numbers game, they still couldn't get it done. Guevara and Cassidy fought on top of the set. And then, incredibly, Sami hit the Spanish Fly through 2 tables on the way down. I mean, that was crazy. But then Sting said, "Hold my beer," because he put Andrade through 4 tables in one of the wildest bumps ever. I mean, 61-year-old Sting is the new Jack. He does craziest shit every day. In a couple of years' time, we'll be watching Sting jumping off the top of the fucking arena to the car park. Like, it's crazy.
Honestly, I was just so worried for his health. When I saw him get back up, I genuinely thought I was going to have a heart attack. I was like, I'm not even his wife or his daughter or his niece or his grandchild. I'm not even that. And I am sat there acting like my own, grandfather just jumped off of this, almost in tears. And he just gets up and walks away like it was like nothing. Like, what?
By the way, he had a flamethrower before this match. He's not your average 60-year-old.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You know, it was crazy. What were your thoughts on this, Jaxie? It's just picking up just flying everywhere.
This match just had everyone going everywhere. That moment with Sting just absolutely baffled me. And then to actually see him even get back in the ring and still be actually a functioning wrestler still. I mean, I'm telling you straight, I'm in my 30s, and that jumping that far down into tables would have broken me. I'd have been carried out on a stretcher. So I've got all of the respect in the world for Sting. This match was good. It was a bit messy. You didn't really know where to look at times, but I think the main sort of premise of this match was that it's like, look at the spots that we're in, look at the spots that we've got. Do I think that this match needed to actually be on this pay-per-view? No, I don't. I think it easily could have been on the buy-in. It was a great match, but this could have easily been it could have easily put the time down a little bit. In terms of, it didn't need to be on the match card. It was a great match, though. I'm not going.
No, but it just worries me that they'll be like, should we cut the match out? Yeah, let's just have Sting come out and jump through a couple of tables himself. Like people want to see it. It's just crazy. Out of 5, like I said, maybe it wasn't the most technical match, but I think I'm going to give it 3.95, just because it was just really fun and stupid. And again, like to talk about the Sammy Guevara Cassidy from the top onto
that's a hard spot as well.
Yeah, like I said, poor Isaiah, because he took the worst. Oh my goodness,
it was bad. Monty Wigan scored out of 5.
I gave it 4 stars. Like you said, it was better than it was better than it had any right to be. No one even not that we didn't know it would have something interesting going on. I don't think I expected it to be that fast paced and that fun. And even like you said, with the family office out there, it just shows you how worthless that faction is. That you can have, you can double them in numbers and still lose. But anyway, Sting driving through 3 tables, man, you can't hate on that. Even though I was dead tired by this point. And I was like, you know what, man? Because I was like, you know what? You guys did a really good job of waking me up, because having an old man jump off the top of the thing, you can't doze off to that,
exactly.
So they did a good job of waking you up if you were tired.
If you were sleeping before, you sure as hell woke your ass up.
For that spine. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it did a great job in that retrospect. So I get, of course, 4 stars. I thought it was way better than it had any right to be.
Gina, what are you going to score it out of 5?
I think I'll give it a 4 as well. It was still a good match, and I really enjoyed it. I think, there were so many different spots that you could point out. You could talk about this match for a very long time. So, yeah, I'm just going to give it a 4. It was great.
And Jaxie?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4 too.
And poll-wise, the Faces got 85% of the vote, and we all went for the Faces as well. So it means leading into our last match, 1 and Gina on 8. Jaxie and James share the lead with 9. And of course, the main event was Hangman and Page versus Adam Cole for the AEW World Championship. And I think Page should have a horse on pay-per-view, or like a car, or some sort of special thing,
I mean, if they can do a camel on Saudi Arabia, okay, you can bring Hangman out on a horse with a cowboy hat. Please.
That was WWE, remember? That wasn't AEW.
Yeah, but
I
Dark
know,
Order dressed as
they got it.
Dark Order dressed as cowboys coming out, or I was just saying special. That's what I want.
Yeah. Well, they brought him out with a horse at the Stadium Stampede, and it freaking worked amazingly. I really wouldn't be mad if Hangman brought his horse out whenever he came out at pay-per-views. I think that his whole persona is that of Hangman Adam Page. He's a cowboy. He does cowboy shit. Like, if we don't actually see a horse every now and again, then it doesn't really add to that aspect. And can you just imagine, like, the crowd, like, just seeing him just arrive at the top of the arena on a horse? It would have been great. That being said, I can imagine the only reason why they did it in Stadium Stampede and not in actual arenas is probably because the horse would freak the fuck out. Because imagine a horse, like, coming out with really, really loud music, because of, it might sound loud coming from our TVs, but we're not sure as to how loud that actually is. Maybe Monty, but we're not actually sure how loud that gets in the arena. Then you got to add in, like, all of the sort of fans cheering and chanting, and then even seeing the horse, they'd probably scream their asses off too. I would, So it's just it's hard, because I feel like the factor is how scared would the animal get. Look at what happened with Cody Rhodes when he brought Phoenix out for his dog. His dog
working with live animals.
But then at the same time, they decided to bring him out the minute that they were, like, popping off the fireworks and stuff. And it's like, hello, dogs and fireworks, really?
Well, this is the thing. And, just have Alex Silver or fucking Eva Uno in a horse costume. Just carrying Paige out like that. I think it would be quite cool.
That would be hilarious.
Oh my God, now I want to see that.
Please, can we actually tweet Evil Uno and ask them to do?
Oh my God. Please, James, please tweet that and do it.
It might be an idea. And I'll tell you something, though. The crowd. We talked about the crowd during the night, but some of the chants. I mean, the Let's Go Adam chants, and then Adam sucks. And, well, you get the idea. My favourite from the crowd was, "This is Adam," which I didn't think they were going to do, and then they did towards the end. But no, Adam E. Dub, which maybe you could have done at a certain point. But enough shenanigans. Let's get on to the main event, because Hangman backed Cole to the ropes, made a relative clean break to start, and he controlled the pace for a couple of minutes to keep the challenger on defense. He threw Cole into the barricade a few times and hit a running boot to the face. Cole ducked a clothesline, so Hangman would hit the post. Then he sent Page into the stairs. Cole kept the pace slow as he tried to punish his champ. Page hit a few shots before Cole picked him from a spinning powerbomb that almost ended in disaster. Cole took some trash for Page, caught him with a kick. He powerbombed Cole onto the apron, hit a huge moonsault all the way to the floor. And Cole caught the champ with a super kick when he went for another moonsault. That looked beautiful. I don't know if it's just Adam Cole that does it in matches, but every time he just looks like he's killed him. But Page managed it's just unbelievable. Page hit Deadeye, but only scored a near fall. He also hit a tombstone, but just couldn't get the pin. The crowd chanted "Fight Forever" as Cole began to set up for his finisher. Page cut him off and climbed to the top rope with him to a backflip full-way slam for another close 2 count. Fisher Riley came down to offer the support as Cole hit the Panama Sunrise on the floor. Cole hit a low blow, another Panama Sunrise, followed by the boom. And I don't know about anybody else. At this point, I'm thinking Adam Cole is going to win
It's
the
over.
fucking World Championship. Like, unbelievably low. Paige did kick out. Fish and Cole have only set next to the ring, but it was Cole who ended up going through it. Dark Order ran down to check on Paige and ended up fighting with Red Dragon. Hangman hit the buckshot lariat, but Cole grabbed the bottom rope with. Then you talk about a fingernail away from losing. And then Paige unloaded on Cole with super kicks after tying his hand to the top rope, called retribution for what we saw on Dynamite. The challenger freed himself up round to another kick. He hit Cole's own running knee before nailing the buckshot lariat for the win. Interesting turn. Well, as I say, Paige shook the hand of a KO'd Cole after this match. Monty, what did you think of this?
Oh, dead silence.
Monty, you there?
Not
Where
like-
you gone?
I was talking on mute, so there we go. That's my Gina. That's my Gina moment of today.
That's how excited.
The dedication there.
Talking to myself. Anyway, I love this match. It was really strong in my opinion. With, like you said, the crowd was back into it. It had some awesome moments, and it was just really hard fought. They went all out, in my opinion. They had to because, like I said, you do 5 hours of wrestling. You thought you seen everything that was to see by the time you got to this main event. So they had to come out here and really, really bring it. And I thought they both, held up their end of the bargain. And I love the story here. Conspicuous by their absence. I don't care that they lost that tag title match earlier. The Bucks did not help their friend Adam Cole here. Red Dragon did. Come on. I mean, it's not even subtle at this point. The handshake at the end with the Ring of Honor style, I thought that was kind of cool because, they used to shake hands before and after the matches in Ring of Honor. And, that this story does back to that time. So I thought that was cool. And also, who knows what's coming because, with the Bucks not attacking Hangman here in the future, if Kenny is not ready, could Hangman step in for a while in a versus Red Dragon and Cole? Like, it really had me wondering what's going on, especially since the Bucks did not even show up. So, but the finish, oh man, amazing in my opinion. So I gave it 4.5 stars. Like, this was really, really strong. Like I said, I was tired by the first time I watched this match. I rewatched it and I got the same amount of enjoyment out of it. So I thought it was good.
Without doubt. Jaxley, what are you going to score the main event?
I mean, I have to agree with absolutely everything that Monty said. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to give it a 4 3/4, to be honest. It was a really great match.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. 4 3/4 for me as well. I got really into it. Like I said, some great exchanges towards the end. Gina, what are you going to score the final score for the final match of the night?
Yeah, I'll give it 4 3/4 as well. Definitely. I have to give a shout out to Adam Cole with his gear when he came out.
Yeah,
So good.
he looked.
Yeah, I
Master
totally
Chief.
love.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you guys watch his Twitch stream like Gina and I do, but he kept on saying that he had something quite planned for his entrance, and we were all just kind of really eager to see it. So I'm glad you actually brought that up, Gina, because it was a great piece of
When
work.
he said that he had a surprise, I had a feeling it would be some sort of gear. So when I saw it, I was like a little gamer geek and just jumping up and down. So it was so fun to watch as well. So yeah, I'll definitely give it 4 3/4.
Yeah, right. I mean, no blood or guts, but just pure wrestling in this one. Oh yeah, 4 3/4, 5 for me. Paige got 67% of the vote. So basically, it comes down to predictions with the final scores. And I think we all know what what has happened here. Monty, Ultima One, and Gina finish on 9. Myself and Jaxie finish on 10 points, which means we both get the point. Pay-per-view win. So
Damn,
we
you
start
brick
off.
maker.
And Jaxie, you can see into the fucking future. Who is going to win
Yes.
WrestleMania? Tell us. Win by the lottery. I mean, you predicted.
No, wait, listen, right? I think that my luck only sort of like subsists with AEW. I don't think it goes anywhere near WWE. Look how bad I failed at Elimination Chamber. I've got no hope for WrestleMania.
Oh, well, it gives me hope. It gives me hope.
Well,
for
she
me.
might already know Double or Nothing main event.
I mean, shit. If I don't win Double or Nothing by myself, I'm going to be extremely disappointed because so far my prediction
You don't want to share, James.
Well,
No, James, you have to take my limelight this time. You have to take my spotlight. I thought I was going to be the overall queen on top, but
yeah,
no.
I know. I had to. I mean, it's weird as well. I will say that my first win out of 4 pay-per-views is Monty's first loss. Coincidence? I don't know about that. And Gina, I was fucking gutted for you. Like 7 out of 7, and then I'm going, those 3 matches. Oh, fuck me, man. And please, do not go for the hill next time. Right? Just whatever you're thinking.
Oh my god!
Conform.
No,
Stop being different.
The opposite. I'm just going to go with the opposite of what I actually would choose, and then I think I'll do well.
Yeah, but don't expect to win against me, sis, because you ain't.
Oh.
I mean, I'll just fight you in real life, to be honest, and then I'll win that.
Okay, well that's not fair, because you know Dad's on your side, and I always get in trouble whenever we fight. So.
Yeah.
Right, it's turning
Dad loves me
personal.
more.
It's turning personal. I can feel it.
I'm glad we don't predict.
Yeah, who do you predict's going
I'm
to
so
win that
glad
one,
we don't
Monty?
predict NXT, James.
You guys need to do a prediction against us. Who's
Oh my
going to win?
gosh.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, well,
What would
I
it
think...
be like, Monty? What would it be like to do a prediction for NXT? Do you think?
Oh my goodness, this man! Oh my, for Roadblock, do you know who's the champion?
It's unbelievable what happened.
I would have never predicted
Who's
that.
the champion? Who's the champion, right?
Dolph
Dolph
Ziggler.
Ziggler is now your NXT champion.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler and Mandy Rose as the champions when they said that they were rebranding NXT to help elevate the younger stars. And who are their champions?
Honestly,
Main roster.
Like, well, by Dolph Ziggler,
Would have never predicted that.
Like, I didn't realize Dolph Ziggler had left like Raw and SmackDown. But what does that mean
He
for
turned up on the NXT to support Bobby Roode, wasn't it? And then
You've
he
been
just
pulling
stayed
both.
well, I tell you what, Jackson and Gene, if you want to catch up with what's happening in the latest NXT, then you can listen to me and Monty this weekend for the latest NXT update, where we will have NXT Roadblock. And I will make a suggestion as well. There is a takeover stand and deliver. I think, because it will be WrestleMania weekend, that we should do predictions, because it'll only be 5 matches, and we'll count it towards WWE pay-per-views. Yeah. And I think, rather than having NXT fights...
Good luck with that, ladies.
What about us who don't watch it? That's not going to be fair. We're going to have to take random decisions.
No, I'll just watch the last NXT that came out, and then I'll just base my prediction off that.
That's right. And then we can actually, you can review your first NXT takeover or takeover event with me and Monty on the Sunday night WrestleMania live show, because I'm planning to do 2 live shows. That's how big WrestleMania, with the Hall of Fame and everything else involved, it's going to have to be 2 big nights. But we're still not finished here, because we got overall 4 on the actual pay-per-view. And it's still a gripe of mine, but, you know, a quarter of the card was women's matches, but they had the second and third shortest match times. Plus, they put Britt and Rosa right after Punk and MJF. So, again, it's just one step forward, one step back, you know?
Yeah, we got a new belt, but then it's like, you know, we didn't get as long a match as was given to a lot of the single titled male matches. You know, I also feel like, you know, sort of the story building and stuff, it just needs to get a little bit better when it comes to, you know, sort of Jaden Ty. If we'd have had a bit more story building, I think that could have even been a lot more impactful. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but that being said, it's better than only having one women's match, because that was what it was like towards the end of the year. So to see that type of progress makes me hopeful that, you know, that things will continuously get better for the women's division. You know, the women's wrestling within the division has significantly improved so well. I can only see them going, forward and up at this point. So with any luck, same will go for their matches as well.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope so. And Monty, as I say to you, we talked about the pacing of the show. I thought the pacing of the show was a lot better. Like we mentioned as well, the 6-man wasn't needed. And I think we would have started with Moxey and Danielson, but just because I wanted to see that match. And it's weird, because I think Eddie versus Jericho would have worked after the Punk MJF match because of how strong a character Eddie Kingston is. It's a bit interesting. But we talk about what time did it finish then, your time, Monty, in America?
Well, it started, I think, so it'll be like, I think 6. It was 6 Central for me, which would be 7 Eastern. So people in New York, it was like 7 when it started, and it ended at 11, so it was midnight in New York. So,
oh my gosh, I would
there you go.
Watch a show at that sort of time.
We dream of it.
Yeah, the main event wrapped up at around 11 for me, and the pacing was fine. Like I said, their shows are usually long because, like we know, they only do these pay-per-views, sparingly. So these shows usually are, longer shows. So I'm not really mad at the length. It's just, like you said, the way things were organized. They started off hitting you nonstop, and then the reason why the crowd, like I said, died down for some pretty good matches was because you started off just hitting us relentlessly, and then the pace died down. Then over time, like you realize, hold on, it's 9:40 something, and we still have 3 matches left. So it's like, how the hell?
Yeah.
Like time is just like, again, moving slow. So again, the pacing definitely took away from the show to me. By the way, I'm going to Fight TV for AEW pay-per-views now. If you do Bleacher Report and you live in America, God bless you, because my stream was terrible throughout the night, off and on, and like I just say, all right, Fight TV from now on. There's no point in me even going to Bleacher Report because the app was just frustrating.
Join us.
Well, Monty, how much is a pay-per-view, AEW pay-per-view to buy?
It was $49.99, so 50 plus tax for me.
What?
Yeah, 50 plus tax for me.
Oh.
We
stay in the UK. You were going to save yourself some money if you go with Fight TV. What the hell?
That's what I'm saying. It's pointless. Like, it's just like it's no point. They're streaming it better over there, and like you said, the price matchup. If I knew it at the beginning of the time, I wouldn't have started my Bleacher Report account that way. But I just thought that was the primary way for us to do it. Trust me, I've learned my lesson.
Well, I mean, again, there's a lot to love, about this show. But like pet peeve for me, pet peeve is like the logo around ringside and on the referee shirt wasn't the same as what was in, the CG around the arena. Which I'm thinking, well, if you're creating a new logo, go for it. How much more difficult that be? But that's more me than anybody else. And I think, like I said, there was so much to love. So, first off, I mean, match of the night. Gina, I'm going to ask you, because you gave 4 matches 5 out of 5. So if you can pick one for me, that is your match of the night. I'm going to say you enjoyed the pay-per-view, looking at your scores.
I definitely enjoyed it. I think it was definitely worth it. I think, for me, I enjoyed it because I was able to pause it and go about and do my things that I needed to do. If I needed to go to the bathroom or go and cook, I was able to pause it because I obviously wasn't watching it live. So that's why I was able to kind of enjoy it a bit more, I think. But there's so many great matches. You're all going to say I'm biased. I'm choosing the ladder match, but not for Ricky Stark.
Oh, was he in it? Was he in it? I didn't realise.
He very much was, James. Very much was. But no, that ladder match was so good. It's the powerhouses that got me for seeing, Powerhouse Hobbs, Keith Lee and Wardlow. I was so excited to see those 3 and I wasn't disappointed at all throughout the whole match. So yeah, I'm going to have to say the ladder match because it was great. And I wasn't expecting the win, to be honest. Even though I got it, I wasn't expecting that win.
No, I'm looking at Monty, yours as well. You've given me a couple of 4.5s. So outright, you got your main event, your Mox Danielson, and your tag titles are 4.5. So which one are you going to give it to?
Yes. See, I literally wrote down the night of 3-way tie. I wasn't sure, but when I I really wasn't sure. I was like, oh my God, I like all of them the same for different reasons. But then I rewatched it and I was like, you know what, man? With the moment attached to it, also, it wasn't anything better to me than watching Regal and then watching not only what happened after the match, but the brutality in Danielson and Moxley's match with the build that left a lot of questions to be answered, and I think they answered them all by the end of that match too. So I'm leaning towards Moxley and Danielson a few days after. But, man, it really was that close to me because I love that main event and I love the tag title match also.
Yeah, I think for me, it's, I think I've got to say Mox Danielson as well. The Punk MJF was a great match, but the Mox Danielson was without the bells and whistles, which, again, I liked just as much.
100%.
Jackson, what are you going to say? I mean, your match of the night, what would you say is your match of the night? You ever got...
I'm actually going to go ahead and agree with Monty in terms of his first choice, which was the tag title match. I just thought it was really great. There was just he didn't really want to blink during that match because so much was happening, and it was just every single move just hit hard. I really enjoyed the other matches, but there were times, especially in the MJF and CM Punk one, where I was kind of watching through my fingers at times because of the amount of blood and everything like that. So in terms of just completely adrenaline rush, enjoyed it. I'm going to go with the tag titles.
Yeah, I think that'd be fair to say. I mean, they're all great choices there. For MVP of the night, I think my standout, I'm going to pick CM Punk, just because it was the old CM Punk, and it really did, like I said, it did something to me, not in a funny way, but in a kind of emotional. Yeah, it's weird, and it kind of leveled the performance and saying, look how much I'm giving. It's all well and good wrestlers coming back and wrestling 5-minute matches every couple of months, but Punk's come back and he really means it. And of course Regal, because how fucking badass did Regal look after that? Gina, who would you say your MVP of the night is?
That's a really difficult question.
You can give the whole roster, or
let me go in front of my sister then.
Go on then.
My sister. Let me go.
You did in prediction.
She don't know she's choosing.
She can go.
She's letting me go. No, I'm just going to go ahead right now and say it. Sting. Sting is my MVP of the night. The man went through 4 tables. I thought he was going to die from that, and he walked off like it was just a scratch. So he is my MVP for the night.
That's an excellent start. I forgot about the 61-year-old jumping through 4 tables.
Yeah, same here, to be honest. I think I'm going to go with Wardlow just because he got two highlights throughout the whole show. He got his win, but he also kind of gave everybody the screw over to MJF that they were asking for. So I definitely think I'm going to go with Wardlow for that reason, just because it was so satisfying to see him be like, oh, wait, I do have the ring. It was in the other pocket. So, yeah, I'll go with him.
And Monty, who's your MVP?
Yeah, I wrote Regal down. Sting, they definitely made my night. Jade Cargill. Yeah, Jade Cargill. She made my night. There's a lot of people out there come to mind, but Regal is definitely the name I wrote down immediately when I thought about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, without doubt. And then finally, rating. I'm going to go first on this because I think maybe my rating might be a little bit low end compared to everything else I've heard, but I'm not sure. This was a great show, and like we talk about, how much fun has this been talking about a pay-per-view? And yeah, it was like 4 hours long, but we've actually relived it on this show, and it's just how much fun. And we even talk about MVPs. How many people shone, in the entire card? Like Wardlow, like an absolute star, The old CM Punk, Moxey and Danielson, and then a few gripes are still the best matches on many a card. So I'm going to give us a 9.25. I'm saying, well, maybe not, for me, the greatest AEW pay-per-view all time, but I thought the pacing was a lot better. And they are trying to give us WrestleMania every 2 or 3 months. Now I've got my head round it a little bit, I can get used to it, especially when it's just like, right, let's just try and work this out. But 9.25, like I said, very, very good. Jaxie, what about you?
Is this out of 10?
Yes.
Okay, so I think I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because every match I really just enjoyed. really hard because if I feel like everyone gave their all in like there wasn't like one match that I didn't feel like a wrestler wasn't giving it their all. So I'm going to give it 8 out of 10.
Monty.
Yeah, I gave it 8.5. I really was entertained. I thought this was all good. I thought everything was from solid to great, for the most part. So, it wasn't a perfect show like we mentioned, and it had a lot of perfect moments, and that's the reason why we kind of talked about it the way we did, because those moments stick out in your mind still days later. So it has its flaws, like I said, and some of that it may be my fault because of what I used to watch it live. Who knows? But I still liked it, and I really thought this was like worth my money in the end of the day, and that's usually how I gauge pay-per-views. Is just like, was this worth my time and my money? Was I thoroughly entertained? And the answers are yes. So I gave it 8.
And Gina, what are you going to score it at 10?
I mean, I'm going to give it an 8.5 as well. I definitely enjoyed the whole show. There were definitely highlights, and there were definitely more quieter times. But even the buy-in for me was really fun to watch, and it was great. The trios match on the buy-in is still something that I will probably go back and watch again and again because it was just so good, So yeah, I'm going to give it an 8.5, which includes like sort of the buy-in on top of that as well.
Yeah, like I said, it's the best. I'd say it's the best. Probably not the best pay-per-view this year, only because if anybody's been watching Impact, they have been. I don't know what they're putting in the water in Impact, but it's been amazing. Like every show's been delivering, and it's crazy to think that at this moment.
I have heard about the shows being great.
Oh, it's. I mean, they're not. They're like next level shit. Each wrestler is just having a performance of a lifetime, and you can watch it on Impact app. I'm not, sponsored by them, but you can watch it for free. You can watch the latest event Sacrifice. You can watch No Surrender, which is 2 weeks previous as well. And like I said, people like Bronson Reed, you might know from NXT, of course, is Jonah, are absolutely killing it. And of course, Jay White is there as well. But it's weird because there's so much good wrestling, and sometimes maybe we do get a little bit used to it, but I don't think we should. And with AEW bringing a pay-per-view like this, and the excitement and everything else can only be a good thing. But I think that is it. I think that's all AEW Revolution that we can do for today. But don't forget, we're across all social media. Twitter at the WNR Podcast. I'm at the WNR JR. Monty, where can people find you?
On Twitter at MindMontyPod, and also anywhere you listen to a podcast, type in Mind of Monty. So yeah, or check my links in my bio at MindMontyPod. Been doing been my most consistent that I have been on with my podcast. I'm really proud of it. Want to continue to do what we do and try to be more creative with it. So come check me out at MindMontyPod.
And Jaxie, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me across both Twitter and Instagram at Jaxie Scarlett.
And finally, Genius Gina.
Yeah, you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Purple Pain.
We're also on Facebook and Instagram, across all Google platforms. Send us an email, the WNRpodcast@gmail.com. There's the ones if you want to complain about Gina picking MJF. YouTube did another podcast where we'll latest clips and podcasts at the same time on YouTube.
I'm going to get picked off forever.
As they do SoundCloud on your phone. But can I just say, before I finish, but Gina, imagine when you eventually win and you turn the corner and you can shove it down everybody. Hey, imagine that moment.
I honestly will. You are all going to find me so annoying when that happens because I am going to push on it so hard. So
I'm going to get it the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and you can hear all this.
Damn you, Britt Baker.
You can hear all this on Spotify and iTunes, where you can download, subscribe, rate, and review there. So that is it. The WNR's next episode. Well, Monty, you're coming back, like I said, this weekend for NXT Update, which of course has got Roadblock. And the following weekend, I thought it'd be fun if the four of us got together to actually do a review of WrestleMania 34. Because, of course, WrestleMania, the most stupendous event ever, is coming up. So let's go back to what emotionally scarred us. Especially, Jackson, I'm talking to you as well. WrestleMania 34, we know what happened.
Yeah. When did you want to do that? The 19th?
That would be the weekend following. Would be nice and professional. Yeah, it would be the 19th. Yeah.
Okay.
Which, of course, will be released for the 20th, and then the next kind of live show that we're going to do.
I was there, wasn't it?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why we're doing it, Monty. That's why we're doing it, son.
My fault.
Part of the reason. The first
I had to do the math.
Yeah.
I had to do the math. It's like 34? Hold on, this sounds familiar.
There's a reason why we did it. Anyway, the next live show will be the Mania weekend. And like I said, the plan is, first night, we'll do straight up kind of looking at night 1 of WrestleMania, Raws and SmackDowns, and then night 2 have a takeover review and look at the second night of Mania as well. And then, of course, coming back to do a full review. And then in May, if you want to look that far, we have got the anniversary show coming up, of course, at the start of May, and then Double or Nothing at the end of it. Could anybody listen to this get anything more? Hey, is there anything else? How excited can you get, you know?
Exactly. We are giving you such great content here.
It is unbelievable. And if you don't if you don't like it, well, you can go. No, actually, no. We love everybody. Even if you do send us emails saying how annoying I am, I don't mind. But I just don't read them out. So fuck you guys. You see, that's the difference.
Keep listening though.
It's
Keep
so
caring
much.
enough to tell me how much you hate me.
Yeah. We do dabble in it. We do sit here and just,
keep
think about the names people that dislike us, and there's like a slight little smile that sits on our face knowing that we've gotten that under your skin. We love it. We go.
Right.
Exactly.
Until then, like I said, we've got so much planned. But until then, I have been James Rowlands. I was joined by the fantastic Jaxie, the genius, which is Gina,
Always.
and of course the mind of Monty. Thanks for this, everybody, and
Oh,
bye.
man.